close your laptop. What happens? Everything stops. Your Telegram bot goes silent, your heartbeat tasks don't fire, your scheduled cron jobs miss their window. That's 12 days of building, and it all depends on your machine staying awake. I'm Adhiraj, and welcome to day 13 of the OpenClaw bootcamp. Today, we put your agent on a server that never turns off. It's a VPS. It's $4 a month, runs 24/7, survives reboots, survives you going on vacation, and by the end of this video, your agent is always on, whether you're at your desk or not. On day 12, you containerize your agent with Docker. Today, we're going after 3 things as usual. First is choosing a VPS provider and understanding the hardware requirements, what specs you need for cloud-only setup versus running local models, and what that costs. Second, installing OpenClaw on a VPS with Daemon autostart so it survives reboots, SSH disconnections, and crashes without you lifting a finger. And third, securing remote access via Tailscale, hardening the gateway, and setting up monitoring so you know your agent is healthy without having to check manually. These are 3 providers that work well for OpenClaw deployments. Hetzer gives you the best price to performance, especially in Europe with strong ARM options. DigitalOcean has the most developer-friendly UI and predictable pricing. Linode, now part of Akamai, is reliable with global data centers and straightforward billing. For specs, if you're running cloud only, meaning your agent calls APIs like Claude, GPT, or Gemini, and doesn't run models locally, you need surprisingly little. 4 or more vCPUs, 8 gigs of RAM with 16 preferred, and 80 gigs of SSD storage. That runs you $5 to $20 a month, depending on the provider and the region. If you want to run local models through Ollama or similar, you're looking at 2 terabytes or more of storage, and ideally a GPU instance, which changes the cost picture significantly. I need you to know that AI installs AI flow. You can have the Claude Code SSH into your fresh VPS and set up everything. So the dependencies, the OpenClaw installation, the configuration, the daemon, firewall rules. It takes about 15 minutes, and you don't need any DevOps experience. You just watch each step and approve it. There's 3 paths to get OpenClaw running on your VPS, and I'll tell you which one to use. Path 1 is the curl installer, which is the recommended approach for the new VPS deployments. It's literally 1 line, and it handles all the system dependencies, node version management, and permissions. Then you run OpenClaw onboard -- install daemon, which walks you through the configuration and installs a system service in 1 step. This is the most tested path and handles edge cases that manual installs miss. Path 2 is Docker. You already built your Docker Compose setup on day 12. You can deploy the same file on your VPS. Just run Docker Compose up-d and you're running. This is clean if you want container isolation on the server as well. Path 3 is manual. So apt install your dependencies, git clone the repo, npm install, copy the example environment file, configure it, and then do npm start. This gives you the most control, but also the most room for things to go wrong. I'd only recommend it if you have a specific reason the other 2 paths don't work for your setup. For most people, do path 1, curl installer plus onboard with the daemon flag. It's done in 15 minutes. Getting OpenClaw installed is just half the job. The other half is making sure it stays running through reboots, crashes, and SSH disconnections. The easy way is OpenClaw onboard -- install -daemon. This single command installs a systemd service on Linux or a launchd agent on macOS. It creates the service file, enables autostart, and starts the daemon immediately. After this runs, your agent is a system service, just like Postgres. What the daemon actually runs is the gateway, which is OpenClaw's HTTP server that handles all channel connections. It's going to listen on port 18789 by default, and once the daemon is running, you can close that SSH session, shut your laptop, and reboot the VPS, and the agent comes back automatically every time. That's the always on that we're after. Your agent is running on a VPS, and now you need to reach it securely because this thing is on the internet. The gateway has 4 bind modes. Loopback is the default and the safest. It only listens on 127.0.0.1, meaning nothing outside the server can reach it. LAN mode binds to all local interfaces. Telnet mode binds specifically to the Tailscale interface, and custom lets you bind to a specific IP. My strong recommendation here is to keep the gateway on loopback and use Tailscale for remote access. Here's why. Tailscale creates an encrypted WireGuard tunnel between your devices. You install it on the VPS, install it on your laptop and phone, and they can see each other on a private network. The gateway never touches the public internet, so there's 0 port forwarding. It's free for personal use. It takes about 2 minutes to set up. If you need HTTPS, say you're building a web UI, talks to the gateway, you can use something like Caddy. Caddy handles TLS certificates automatically. The gateway stays on loopback, and the proxy terminates HTTPS. For authentication, the gateway supports 3 modes. Token authentication using bearer tokens, which is recommended. password mode with username and password, and trusted proxy mode where you delegate auth to your reverse proxy. The unauthenticated gateway is an open door to your agent and everything it has access to. Your agent is on the internet now, which means that security isn't optional. OpenClaw is a built-in security audit tool that does most of the work for you. Just run OpenClaw security audit --deep, and it performs a live probe of your running gateway, checking for misconfigurations, exposed endpoints, weak auth, and permission issues. If it finds problems, run OpenClaw security audit --fix, and it auto-remediates what it can, like fixing file permissions and enabling auth requirements, that kind of thing. For the firewall, UFW is the simplest approach on Ubuntu. Default deny incoming, allow SSH so you don't lock yourself out, and allow traffic on the Tailscale interface, and enable. 3 commands, and your VPS only accepts SSH and Tailscale traffic. Now, in terms of the hardening checklist beyond that, you want to always run OpenClaw as a dedicated non-root user, never as root. Set the config directory permissions, enable your gateway auth tokens, enable DM pairing so only authorized users can interact with your agent, and lock your bot father if you're using Telegram. Disable the group ads so nobody can just pull your bot into channels that you never approved. None of this is super difficult, and the security audit tool catches most of it automatically. But it matters because your agent has access to your API keys, your memory files, your tools, and potentially your code. Treat it like you treat any server that handles sensitive data. Your agent is deployed and secured. Now you need to know when something breaks without checking every day. OpenClaw Doctor is your best friend and first diagnostic tool. Checks config validity, API key health, channel connections, memory index status, and daemon health all in one command. Run it after deployment and whenever something seems off. For gateway specific status, run OpenClaw gateway status. That's going to show you what channels are connected, uptime, and request counts. For ongoing monitoring, set gateway channel health check minutes in your config. This just tells the gateway to verify channel connections at the interval that you specify and log warnings when something fails. If your Telegram bot token expires or your Discord connection drops, you'll see it in the logs before your users do. Speaking of logs, they live at temp OpenClaw year month day .log, 1 file per day. On a VPS, you might want to set up a log rotation or pipe them to a persistent location since temp can get cleared. For updates, run OpenClaw update --channel stable. This is going to pull the latest stable release. You can also use the beta or dev channels if you want to test new features. The update command is going to handle the restart. Backup strategy is simple because your workspace is already a Git repo. It contains your sole, agents, memory, daily notes, and config. Push it to a private GitHub or GitLab remote. If your VPS dies, spin up a new one, install OpenClaw, clone the workspace, and you're back in business. All your agent's personality, memory, and configuration travel with that repo. 4 things before day 14. First, provision a VPS. So spin up an instance on Hetzner, DigitalOcean, or Linode with at least 4 vCPUs and 8 gigs of RAM. Second, install OpenClaw. So use that curl installer we went over. Third, configure remote access with Tailscale. Install it both on your VPS and your laptop. Verify that you can reach the gateway through the Tailscale IP on port 18789 and keep the gateway on loopback. So let Tailscale handle the routing. Fourth, run the security audit. So OpenClaw security audit --deep. Fix any findings, set up UFW with default deny, verify those config permissions, and confirm gateway auth is enabled. Your agent is on the public internet now, so treat it accordingly. At this point, your agent is no longer tied to your laptop. It's on a server, secured, monitored, and always available. That's a production deployment. Day 14 is agentic coding. It's using your always-on agent as a development partner, so code generation, PR reviews, debugging, and pair programming. If you want hands-on help with VPS deployments, security hardening, or anything else, consult with me at otherarchungle.com. And if you want a free community of people building and selling AI automations, join the AI Automation Sprint. Link is in the bio. Subscribe, and I'll see you on day 14.